We are delighted to welcome you to this series of podcasts, which together over the course of the next 12 months will create a mandala of service. The planetary events that we experience year after year can be perceived in many ways as a process of transformation, which hold a silent question addressed to each individual, group, and institution alike. It is the request to think, feel, act, and live with growing love, light, and will to good. In the same planetary events, we can also perceive the degree to which we are succeeding in achieving a life marked by these qualities, individually and collectively. Acting in harmony with the profound demands of the unity represented by our planet and all humanity that inhabits it, presupposes that each individual engages in a personal process that leads him to perceive the joy of acting in a spirit of service. What do we mean by service in this context? We mean the spontaneous effect of contact with the soul. It is not a quality or an action, but rather the manifestation of a series of transpersonal qualities beyond the individual in action. This is why it is not a specific activity for which we must fight hard, nor a system to save the world, even if greater planetary well-being will certainly be a consequence of the service. The spirit of service is therefore the manifestation of a state of consciousness and requires a process of evolution and points of tension towards that state. At the same time, acting in life with an attitude of service is a tool to accelerate contact with the central part of us, acting as if we were already fully realized. Those of us who are on a path of inner research surely also question the quality of our actions. Do they reflect our highest, most beautiful, complete, and vast part? The same question resonates when we are called not only as individuals, but also as part of an organization, an institution, and as members of the social fabric in which we live, to respond, take a stand, and act in the face of collective or planetary circumstances and events. This is part of the process that will gradually make us aware of living in a large ecosystem, which expands in ever larger circles to include the energies of other planets, the solar system, and the cosmos. Within the harmonies of the cosmos and the planetary movements resonate the harmonies to which we can choose to align our everyday actions in life. It is a question of uniting heaven and earth in a two-way movement, from the individual to the sky, and from the sky to the individual. As individuals, by carrying out a work of liberation from the meshes of conditioning, we gain a field of inner freedom that favors contact and exchange with many different beings and on many levels. Thanks to this process, the ability to cultivate a broad and creative thought and the possibility of carving new and positive grooves in the invisible space is conquered. At the same time, from heaven, as we become increasingly receptive, we will be able to grasp the indications that are available to guide us toward a life in union with the cosmic dimensions, as witnessed by the lives of those often referred to as enlightened beings, sages, and spiritual masters. But how to build a bridge in life between those spaces where harmony, beauty, and wisdom exist and our action in the world? How to unite heaven and earth? In this series of 12 podcasts, We will explore this theme to discover how a creative and useful tension in this direction is already taking place in many areas of life. We will become aware of them by observing them with the eye of expert guests who are committed in their daily service to transform common fields of work, from politics to education, from economics to health. During the year, we will cover 12 fields of action through the experience of those who work in a spirit of service, in a rhythm accorded to the 12 signs of the astrological year, to build a more aware, visible, and shareable alliance between heaven and earth. We invite you to take that journey with us and to reflect on your own spirit of service as you hear from our 12 guests. This podcast was offered by the Community of Living Ethics, Umbria, Italy, and freely inspired by Aldebaran, the community's astrosophy group, and by our research on service.